Here we have an extension cord disaster. So I got a hold of these cords. A friend of mine, we were doing something and I saw he made a comment like, "Oh, this is a pile of chopped up cords I gotta throw out." And I said, "Oh, let me take them off your hands." And so that day, I quickly looked at them, and you know, this is chewed here. I think what they didn't want to admit is that they might have like cut it themselves with like a hedge trimmer or something. They just said, "Oh, these got damaged." They look like they got chopped up to me. So they were freezing cold, so they were really stiff, and I brought them in here, and I just kind of like threw them in the closet indoors, and kind of didn't think about them, right? But now I thought, why not take a look at them? So it looks, whoa. So this green one looks like it's got to be at least 50 feet. That's kind of cool. And I do have replacement male and female plug-ins. Yeah, so this one's here. So that's in one spot. Okay, let's just examine this one. Let's take stock. Just kind of using my hand to feel my way quickly. When they're broken in multiple spots, I mean, yeah, sure, you can deal with that, but I may not have enough replacement plugs to deal with that. Okay, cool. So this is just broken in one spot, so I can turn this into two, no problem. And let's take a look at the other one, this red one. I can see that. It's just funny because they were just gonna toss these, and I have a number of cords that just, yes, people have borrowed them and chopped them by mistake, which I guess it used to infuriate me, but as I've mellowed with age, it doesn't infuriate me. So this one just seems to be here. All right, can make a very short cord out of this one. Okay, so being that I am not in my normal garage, I do not have my normal set of tools. So let's work on this one first, since it seems to be just there. So you can make fun of me in the comments or whatever you want to do, because I don't have my regular tools, but what I do have. So for this one, we're gonna need a female end for the long cord, and if I wanted to be silly, I can make a very short cord. My son, when he was trying to repair some Christmas lights, it shows up in another video. There was a piece of a string that got chopped up, and he had some plugs, and he tried to make a one light string set of lights, basically, and you can use it as a night light. So my response to that might be to, for fun, make a very short extension cord and give it to him. All right. So I happen to have these, and will this pair of screwdriver work? No, I need a slightly smaller driver. I do keep a reserve set of tools over here at the condo location, and I'm going to do my best to make this work. Sometimes it's kind of fun when it can be infuriating, but if you're not under the gun to get a project done and you don't have your main tools, sometimes part of the fun is being creative to use what's around you to kind of fix whatever you're working on, or yeah. So let's see here. Okay, that'll work. Get that out of the way. So I haven't worked with these really before, so I have to unfortunately use a regular pair of scissors. I don't have wire splicers. To do this. That's that. That might, depending on my patience with this project, that might get canceled out. All right, so we need a female end because that would be ridiculous if I put 2 male ends on here. All right. So I do know. Let's see here. I personally don't like ratchet style screwdrivers. It can be a pain. There you go. Good old fashioned regular screwdriver for this. I remember as a kid, my next door neighbor, when I was a little boy, had this long extension cord, but he had, it was, I thought it was comical at the time, well, not comical, I thought it was cool. He had a commercial, or I should say a metal box with 4 outlets on it at the end of an extension cord. So he basically made his own extension cord, which later on when I reflected back, I realized what he had done. But I remember thinking that was so cool. He had an extension cord that looked like an outlet. All right, so these things come with 0 instructions, which I love. And I haven't worked with, I don't think, these particular ones. So a little trial and error. Trial and error. You know, and I do this so infrequently with these cords that a lot of times I forget what I did or how these work, and then once I do one, I'm like, oh, it's really easy. I hate this screwdriver. That's where I'm actually struggling. I guess when I've done this before, the main insulation, like the red part of the cord, I don't. In some cases, one case I cut it back too far, but in other cases I've nailed it just perfectly, and it's like the outlet was meant to be that way. What is going on with this screwdriver here? There we go. There we go. I think that. I'm trying to put this in a mode where it functions as a regular screwdriver. And I think part of the problem is this one might be stripped. There we go. Okay. So I got this part out. So what they do is they do a decent job of, so you get your green, gold and your silver, right? And what they do is they usually label these, which I can't see. I gotta get better lighting in here. And I'm not an electrician, and somebody watching this video could be screaming at me through their computer or their phone. All right. So now, let's see. This is so old school way of doing this. Got it. Yep. Oh, I need to cut that further. I made a mistake. I went a little too far and cut that insulation. So again, sometimes there's a little trial and error with this. And this is, this part of the job here is where you wish you had the correct tools to do the job. Okay. So if I had like splicers here, what I'm trying not to do, what I did on that is I actually punctured through the insulation on one of those, and it's not where I wanted to do it. So to be safe, I canceled that out. All right, this is working off. This is actually going to work pretty good, I think. I tell you, I have a number of extension cords that I have rebuilt or remade, and in certain cases I've had real short lengths, not this short, but like, you know, maybe a 2-foot cord or 3-foot outdoor cord, and when you are connecting sometimes Christmas lights or timers to outlets and things, it works out perfectly. And I've even had like air conditioners where they almost reached the outlet, and it's just like, oh, I gotta bring this, you know, grounded outdoor cord to go a foot. And when you have something really short like that, that has worked really well for me. Okay, we're almost there. Like, we could have had this whole cord done by now if I had wire cutters or splicers. There we go. Okay, so I did not damage any of the insulation here. So they make these pretty simple. Now, what I have to double check is, so the green goes to green. Does black go to, hold on, let's double check to see the documentation. I'm pretty sure I know which way to do it, but I always like to read to make sure. Now, does it say here, strip gauge? Okay, we know that. So let's just go over and take a look at the instructions. I'm gonna look again. Okay, so as I thought, white to silver. This is a pain without. What was I saying about not having the right tools? White to silver is what we want to do. Okay, we had some camera issues before with battery and whatnot. So what I have done is wired up the connections. So green goes to green, black goes to brass, and white goes to silver. And you know, I probably made the leads in here a little shorter than I would like, so I kind of struggled with it. But I have had extension cords where I've made them too long, and then you have kind of it hanging out there. So the next step is to reassemble this. My suggestion is, and what I say is, make sure that this like this collar piece here, or whatever you call this, before you make your connections, slip that on the end of the wire. Otherwise you have to undo everything, which that might have happened to me before. And I'm just trying to make sure I have the right size screwdriver for this, so we can reassemble. No, that's not the right size. There we go. Yeah, today was kind of a comedy of errors. With the camera itself failed on me for reasons I don't know. It just stopped recording, and I had a memory card. Well, that was ultimately what it was. So the memory card was full. It didn't give me warning until I went in and figured out what was going on. So I fixed that, and then I got going again, and I was doing this and was struggling with a bit because I forgot to put that piece on. So I thought, oh, so and because I made the leads a little on the shorter side, I was really taking a lot of time to do it. So I thought, you guys really don't need to see me struggle on camera. I mean, sometimes it's funny, and I don't mind sharing those struggles. The struggle is real, as they say. And so then I canceled that out, and then I got going again, and then the battery died. So if this video comes off as choppy, then that's why, and I do apologize, but we will just continue to do the best we can. All right, so then this should be, here we go, this piece here. I also think these look cool. I think they look cooler than like the factory, just like polarized whatever plug. Oh yeah, very nice. This is so simple to do. I mean, as I said, it's simple normally when you're not fighting with the camera at the same time, and then you're thinking about the camera and you screw up. It's kind of funny. In my head, I'm like, I've done this so many times. Like, why am I having all these problems? I think these are the first plugs. I'm trying to think if I've used that have this like screw down here, these 2 screws here. And at first I thought it was overkill, but I like it because it really snugs this up nice. Yeah, so like, yeah, look at that. That's pretty good. That's good. That's good. Okay. So I just gotta make sure I get these down. These screws are so long that they seem like they just go into oblivion. And because I'm not at my, as I've stated before, I'm not at my normal workbench. So I don't have like my normal screwdrivers. So I'm using like, and I'm trying not to strip this out as I put it on. Oh, there we go. And I know they're lined up because it's the only way this would have slipped in. Believe. Yeah, because that's not coming out. Like, I like the design of this very much, but I gotta say the quality hasn't been so great. It's like, I don't know why this screw keeps, it's not, everything else is lined up and is screwed in. That screw doesn't seem to want to bite. You can give it a little force, but I don't like to do that. It just keeps turning and turning and turning. This other one fell completely apart in my hands. I think I can put it back together again, but all right. So aside from this, one screw, the others are in tight. So bizarre. I don't know if anyone's had this issue before, where the screws don't actually screw down, even though you're totally lined up in the channels. Like, I can still turn these, but they're on the threads. All right, so I got the one. The one that was giving me problems, I got. So these are Leviton branded ones. Oh, there. Oh, there we go. Just felt it like bite. Nope, that one just keeps wanting to come out. All right. Well, here you go. That's it. It is done. And if I had something to plug in over here, I'd plug it in. But this will go back, and we will give it some use, and then I'll do those others. And thanks for watching. Thanks for dealing with the pain with me.